It's widely documented that coffee and tea are two of the most popular beverages around the world. It's harder to determine which one humans drink more of. That's partly because tastes are subject to change. Case in point, what's happening right now in part of southern China. Pu'er is a city in the nation's Yunnan province. It's famous for its tea, which is consumed and revered throughout East Asia. However, AFP News reports that some Chinese, mostly between the ages of 20 and 40, are increasingly ordering espressos and lattes. And because Pu'er has a temperate climate and relatively high altitude, it's producing coffee that many people love and whose industry is booming. This isn't to say that China's becoming a global leader in the coffee industry. It produces far less of it than the much smaller nation of Colombia, for example. But officials are working to support, improve, and capitalize on Pu'er's coffee cultivation in a country that's widely considered the inventor of tea. I'm Carl Azus for The World from A to Z, your nonpartisan source for news and international events. Welcome to the show. Imagine a power outage that affects an entire country. Traffic lights are out, airports and subways close, mobile networks stop working, refrigerators stop cooling, elevators and escalators stop moving, in some cases, water stops running. That's what happened yesterday across two European countries, Spain and Portugal, with parts of southern France also affected. What would trigger something like this? As of last night, officials had several theories, but no firm answers. Portugal's prime minister said there was, quote, no indication the massive blackout was caused by a cyber attack, but international leaders hadn't ruled that out. The head of a European Electricity Association told the BBC that there was a problem with the energy connection between France and Spain, but he added that the extent of the outage throughout the Iberian Peninsula indicated there were probably other factors too. Spain declared a state of emergency and deployed extra police to help ensure safety. By the end of the day Monday, Spain's leader said about half his country had seen its power restored, with the rest likely coming back Tuesday. Portuguese power officials say it could take longer for full restoration there. Even after electricity starts flowing normally again, though, experts say the effects of the blackout, like flight cancellations, could take days to straighten out.
Word and out. The difference between a home's value and what's still owed on it is known as what? Appraisal, equity, mortgage, short sale. If someone's home is worth $300,000 and she owes $100,000 on her mortgage, the difference of $200,000 is her home equity.
For middle-class Americans who make up just over half the U.S. population, home equity is considered a crucial part of their wealth. But experts say the costs of homes and home ownership, which shot up after the COVID pandemic hit, have made it difficult to build that equity.
The cost of living continues to rise across the country. In March, the median existing home sale price climbed to over $400,000. That's nearly 3% higher than a year ago, according to the National Association of Realtors. And home sales have dipped as a result, with many buyers wondering if they can even afford a home.
Affordability continues to be the biggest barrier for Americans trying to achieve home ownership.
Alex Gailey is an analyst at the consumer finance company Bankrate. They recently found on average, renting a home is cheaper than paying a mortgage in all 50 of the largest U.S. metro areas.
We know home prices have skyrocketed in the last few years because we saw that big pandemic boom. And we also know mortgage rates have risen dramatically.
The median monthly mortgage payment in March was about $2,800, according to Redfin. Mortgages typically include property taxes and home insurance costs, whereas the median rent was about $1,600. But rentals often tend to be smaller.
There's a lot of upfront costs that you don't have to deal with renting that can be financially beneficial for you, even if you are missing out on building equity through a home.
There is some good news. The further you live from a major city, the price gap between buying and renting a home narrows. And many experts predict home sale prices will come down in the next few years as more inventory comes onto the market. I'm Jen Sullivan.
All mistake in world history. What Widespread violence broke out in part of California on April 29, 1992. The Los Angeles riots began after a jury found 4 white police officers not guilty of using excessive force against a black motorist named Rodney King after a high-speed chase. Video of the incident helped fuel the rioters' anger. Dozens died in the violence, thousands were arrested, and there was more than $1 billion worth of property damage. The National Guard, along with Army soldiers and Marines, helped restore calm by early May. On this date in 2011, millions of people around the world tuned in to witness a royal wedding. Prince William, the grandson of Queen Elizabeth II, married his longtime girlfriend, Kate Middleton. Almost 1,900 guests attended the ceremony at Westminster Abbey, and an estimated 1 million people packed the streets of London to see the couple as they made their way to the reception.
Where in the world? The British government established a colony here in 1788 and used it as a place to house its prisoners. It got its independence in 1901 and is considered both a country and a continent. This is Australia, a nation of 27.7 million people.
Australia's Queensland region is establishing a new national park. Thanks to an anonymous donation, the government acquired the land to preserve habitats for vulnerable and endangered species, like the night parrot and the yellow-footed rock wallaby. You'd think that would be good news to everyone, right? Well, not for one local industry. The park would threaten the livelihoods of people who have been mining that same land for decades.
We've got visitors, mate.
For 30 years, Robbie Vinicombe has been digging through red dirt in search of a rare treasure, a gemstone that has almost exclusively been found in this remote part of Queensland, the Boulder Opal.
It's the most beautiful gemstone on earth. I'll be here for the rest of my life if I can.
With their beautiful rainbow hues, opals are often turned into beautiful jewelry. Boulder opals have the same stunning coloring as other opal types, but Boulder opals are unique in that they are mixed with ironstone, a sedimentary rock. This makes them more durable. Existing mining operations will be allowed to carry on in some of the property's locations, but for miners with leases that are close to expiring, the new national park means their future is less certain.
There's dozens and dozens and dozens of stakeholders here that have been here a lifetime and generations, you know what I mean? And we're just completely ignored as though we don't even exist.
The Queensland Department of Resources says it will work with the industry to help prospectors. Each year, the opal industry brings in the equivalent of $9 million to the area.
The Panthers lead things off for us today. Clay County High School is in Clay, West Virginia, and that's where Miss Thomas's class is watching. Hello to our viewers in the Mountain State. In Blue Springs, Missouri, we're soaring with the Eagles today. Mrs. Huffman's class is online at Brittany Hill Middle School in the Show Me State. And from the gem state of Idaho, it's great to see Mr. Brady's students at Meridian High School. The home of the Warriors is in the city of Meridian. This isn't the first time we've covered a seagull screeching competition. And if you've seen it before, well, it's hard to forget. But besides the ear-splitting cries and colorful costumes, this recent event in Belgium is truly for the birds. The president of the European Championship says seagulls make noise, they make messes, they spread trash, they're like rats of the sea. They're upsides. They're amazing acrobats and synonymous with the seacoast. So this event aims to summon sympathy for them by having people dress and screech like them. Not every coast's a Gulf Coast, but all coasts can be Gold Coast. So at this coast, the Gold Post, to see who sounds like a goal the most and have the goal to play the role, be gullible near sand and show the lull and pull and soul of the beaches, wings and voices raised in the screeches. I'm Carl Azus. Calling on you with gratitude. You mean the world to me. Thank you for watching the world from A to Z.